Welcome to Special Education. Back again, Joey Badass.
Back at it again.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great, man. Ever since I heard this album, that's all I want to talk about.
Let's do it. Let's talk
So we're
about
going to
it.
do a whole episode dedicated to All American.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm excited.
First question.
Let's go.
What song was the easiest to make?
You ready?
Yep. Why you don't love me? Devastated.
The easiest to make.
I feel like Why You Don't Love Me, it almost sounds like a letter, almost like just like a stream of consciousness, like just flooding with thoughts.
Right.
So I feel like that would be easy to write.
Yeah. No, it wasn't too difficult to write, but it wasn't the easiest because, you know, my goal with that record was you have a conceptually, arguably political album, whatever you want to call it, social conscious album, whatever you want to call it. I just call it good music. You know, when you have something, a conceptual album like me as an artist, I wanted to make sure I included like a, you know, a feminine-esque track. You know what I'm saying? And but I also wanted to make sure that the concept was still in there. So that's why I kind of wrote a letter to the country as if I'm in a relationship with it. So that's how that came about. But Devastated was actually the easiest song to write.
Why?
I didn't write it. It just was off the top. You know what I mean? It just, I went in the booth and it just came to me.
Easy.
Yeah.
And for it to be such a huge hit, like just off the top of the dome, like
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodness. Next one. Which one was the hardest to make?
Ryan writing is terrible.
You're all good. It's actually not that bad. I've seen some terrible handwriting.
You ready?
Put American Idol.
Legendary.
Why was Legendary hardest?
Because Legendary for a long time was just my first verse and no hook. And you know, I say it wasn't exactly hard, but you know, it was the least easiest because you know, I was waiting on the feature from Cole, and then you know, once I got that, like I figured out the hook. But I always knew that it was just incomplete for a long time. Did
you always have the title for it?
Yeah, it was always Legendary because I began my verse with "This is Legendary." So yeah, like it was. I say it's the hardest just because it was incomplete.
That makes sense.
For the most time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Next one. If you could name one thing as your favorite thing about this album, what would it be? I put that you dropped it on 4/7.
Oh yeah, that is probably my favorite thing.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand how important that is. And like you're very into dates and dropping things on certain dates.
Yeah.
And to go all the way back to Steez's first mixtape and to drop it on that same day, what was that thought process? Like, because it just happened to be a Friday this year.
Exactly.
Like, it just worked out so beautifully.
Exactly, and you know, that's pretty much it right there. It just, the fact that it felt like it was destined. You know, it just felt like that's when it was supposed to be because I remember it was 2 dates that could have possibly worked for this, for the album. And that was Election Day, because that fell on a Friday.
Yeah.
And then this day. And you know, those are 2 dates that just kind of coincided with, you know, the whole concept and everything. So but the fact that this day was a Friday and I wasn't done in time for Election Day, I was like, okay, this is obviously the right thing to do.
And I mean, even the titles, like Amerikkkan Corruption, All Amerikkkan Badass, like it just goes together so well. It's
right
so
on
dope.
4/7.
Why did you choose musicality and message?
Because, you know, that's what I'm most proud of myself about for this album, is the way I stepped up the musicality and, you know, how powerful the message is. So that's definitely my 2 favorite things.
We appreciate you for
in
that.
addition to the 4/7.
Yeah. Who was your favorite person that you worked with on this album?
Ready?
Yeah. Did you put Kirk in it? Everyone. That's the good. See, you can't go wrong with that one. That's like the real, like, it's his album. Of course, that's who we wanted to work with.
Nah, I'm just so thankful for everybody who was a part of it, really.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Just from Q to Cole, first time collaborating with them on some. Same with P. You know, Chronics, he was on my last album with frequent collaborators. Kirk, nah, you know my gang, we frequent collaborators. But, you know, everyone, man, everyone, you know, added their contribution to it, so I'm just grateful.
I feel like styles is so important because you're a New York kid.
Yeah.
Locks that's the heart of New York.
OGs.
Like,
Yeah.
what was that process working with him like?
It was fairly easy, to be honest. Like, the album was finished, and I had this song called Super Predator, and you know, one night before like fully handing in the album, I was just watching the Locks interview on Breakfast Club. And Styles P did, like, you know, they was asking them their thoughts on the election, Hillary versus Trump, and Styles is just going deep into the whole Super Predator era and the concept, and you know how he was in the middle of that and how it affected him, and it just made me think like, yo, he would be perfect on this song, like, and it's a static selected beat. I'm like, yo, I literally just called him, like, yo, big bro, what you doing, man? Like, I need a favor, man, and I need it tomorrow. And he literally sent it back tomorrow, man. Shout out to Styles, man.
Well, there's that whole story about Cole, how Cole used the Waves production, made False Prophets, and that's how you got that. But then the Locks used part of Unorthodox, so was that kind of like a stepping stone?
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the sample on the DJ Premier beat?
Yes.
That's fire.
Yeah.
I
so
thought that was beautiful.
I was wondering, I was like, was that part of like the bargaining to be like, hey, yo, y'all use part of me, let me get the feature type thing, or you guys have just been cool?
Nah, it just been cool like that. You know what I mean? It's just that love and mutual respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much love. Nice seeing you again.